Last year at this time of year and the year before, 2019 and 2020, we were in the middle of the fire seasons and some horrendous historic fires up in this area. This year there have been some terrible fires, but not so much around here. We had one major fire that was started by an incident with a car, but the rest of really the fire department and CAL FIRE has really been on it, and perhaps we've just been lucky. But instead of a fire, we're now heading into major rain, which is very welcome, but a whole new set of problems. We have had some big rainstorms, and tonight they're predicting something called an atmospheric river, which is a huge amount of rain coming down at once. Our area, I don't think, is going to be as affected as the coastal areas, but I've been in one of these a few years ago up here, and it's a lot of water at one time. My house here is about 80 years old. It's one of the first, actually it is the first house on this mountain, and it's been through a lot, and it will probably go through more. I saw what happened the last time we had a huge deluge, really a deluge, and how I felt a little bit like I was on the Titanic here, but we did not drown. There was just a lot of water. The house is set up with overflow creeks and all sorts of stuff that makes sure that we stay nice and dry up here. So I'm living alone up here nowadays. Eddie moved out, though he said he would come by this afternoon and just double check the house, make sure everything's okay. And I'll make him a little bit of dinner, but I'll be by myself tonight and tomorrow during this event. And if you don't mind, I'll take you with me for a little bit of company. Stay tuned. You can't see a darn thing, but you can certainly hear it. Rain is coming down, and it looks to be doing so all night. It's about 8:30 and it's coming down, let me tell you. Here's the seasonal creek right to the side of my house. The water comes down from the mountain, down one creek, it crosses the road through my property down to the bottom of the hill where it goes to a pond and then to another ditch and then into other creeks. I am seeing some breaks in the system out in the front, and a little while later when I feel it's a little lighter and a little safer, I'm going to take a walk and see where some of the weak points are. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it if there's this much rain at one time, but usually something's happened, there's been a clog. So this is a good opportunity to check that and get it repaired. Directly in front of us is the seasonal creek that's alongside the side of the house. It's raging. To the right is a creek I've never seen before. It's coming from the neighbors next door. She's an empty piece of property next door. And directly in front of us, at the bottom, is a little pond. It's usually a little pond, a peaceful little pond, and right now it's just a catch basin for all this water coming down. It'll eventually hit the road below and go into the creeks there. Here's my front yard. It's just raging down by the side of the house and across the driveway and down the other side of the house. Get a load of that. It's about 9:45 and some more creeks are developing. Here's the original one, and you can see there are a couple more coming, and up a little higher there's the first creek, and then there's another one next to it, and then there's this one coming through. This one coming through has come through before. Usually it turns into a massive amount of water which just removes everything in its way. It's overflow. The systems here that are set up for regular rainfall just can't handle it, but I can handle it. Done this before, it'll pass. Just glad to have the rain. These boots were made for walking, so let's walk around the property and see what's going on. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The rain has calmed down a little bit. I see a channel has been cut in my front yard from this waterfall. It looks like the same thing has happened in the driveway. We spent a fair amount of money getting this road graded, me and my neighbors, a few months ago. I guess we're back to ground zero. Here's more of it, all trenched up. hear that roar? This is the waterfall, the seasonal waterfall behind the other cabin. So our rain day is almost over. My understanding is we got close to 10 inches, and I'm certain most of that fell in my yard. There was a cloud right over my house. I'm absolutely willing to bet on it. But I have heard that the amount of rain we've received here is this in these last few days accumulated is more than we received the entire year last year. So that is awesome news. What is not so awesome news is that there's been mudslides and road closures and accidents and awful things happening, and I'm really grateful I was able to stay home and avoid that. I love living out here. There's no doubt about it. Even when things are a little challenging, there's everything seems like it's solvable. I'm blessed with great neighbors and a beautiful place to live, and I will always look on these years as some of the happiest of my life, even though it's been a fair share of trial and tribulations. It certainly has never been boring. Rural life isn't for everybody, but it's something I dreamed of my whole life of doing, and finally I was able to achieve it a few years ago, and I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. Anyway, I hope wherever you're living, you're happy, and that whatever you're doing, you're happy too. Please stay warm and fed and safe. Thank you so much for watching and for keeping me company.